Welcome back to another episode on Buzzworthy Businesses. I'm your host, John Visser, and with me today, I have a very special guest, Stacy Wood from Through the Woods Consulting. Stacy is a high-performance coach for professionals seeking unbridled success without the stress. Stacy, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. How are you doing?
I'm great, John. Thanks so much for having me on today.
Now, your coaching business model is very, very unique. When people go onto your website, they'll see that you're actually a cowgirl. And so you've merged the coaching with the equestrian side of farming. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak to that. My background is actually in equine science. That is what I went to school for. It's what my degree is in. And as I grew up throughout my career, I never knew I would end up here doing coaching and working with horses as part of the coaching business. But as life treats us, it goes in all sorts of twists and turns. And I ended up in the coaching field about 10 years ago. And I was able to bring together and merge my scientific background, my years and years of expertise with my passion for coaching. Because what I realized is that when we are working with horses, we have no choice but to be authentic. When we hesitate or carry energy of fear or unsettledness, if we're feeling insecure or frustrated, horses will feel it and they reflect back to us what we're feeling. And so we have this amazing litmus and instant peek into what's really happening inside of us, so that then the coaching piece comes in and we can start to work through that in a much quicker process than if it was just two humans talking and trying to tease this out.
You know what? It's amazing how animals, are able to aid us with stuff. Another example of this is children with disabilities that they have with dolphins and stuff, right? And so the type of clients that you focus on to get to the retreat, what is it? Just executives, or do you work in groups? How does that work?
So a couple of options. We do offer small executive senior leadership retreats where you'd bring in like your C-suite, and we'll have a couple of days on the farm and some ongoing coaching after that. We also offer the opportunity for anywhere sort of that mid-level through executive. So you don't have to be in the C-suite yet. You can come and work with us and prepare yourself for that next level in your career, navigating that transition. We see a lot of people struggle from the transition of middle manager to a director type of level because the game changes, right? You go from your hands in the mud and working with everything to having to step back to a more strategic place. And that's a really special time to have this type of coaching because you develop that awareness. So I can work with my coaching clients who are my traditional one-on-one coaching clients, will come out to the farm and work with me there in addition to our virtual coaching sessions. Or you can bring a small group and we'll do the actual few-day retreat on the farm.
And so one of the questions that's going to come up from viewers, right, is what happens, because for instance, my wife, you will not get her on the back of a horse, even if her life depends on it. She's scared, right? How do you manage that with some of your clients?
Well, you said two things that I'm really glad you brought up. One, we actually don't ride the horses at all. So if you're scared to leave the ground, don't panic, don't worry. We're literally just handling the horses and going through exercises where we're on the ground and working with them. We do a phenomenon called join up, which is too long for me to describe in this show, but it's basically where we're exchanging energy and intention with the animals because they're so intuitive. And the good news is that I am right there next to you throughout the whole process. So I never just throw my clients to the wolves and say, good luck, I hope you're okay. I'll be right next to them through the whole process so they can get comfortable. We also, when we welcome you to the farm, We have an amazing crew of miniature horses. So they're about the size of a dog, and that's where we start. That's our greeting committee, and you get to hang out with them and get comfortable with a horse in a much smaller package, so that when we move into either a pony or a full-sized horse, you're a little more comfortable standing next to it.
Now, Stacy, I would love to spend a lot more time talking to you about this because I find this very, very interesting. Unfortunately, our time here is coming to an end. So one last thing I want to ask you, if you can give just some tips, just in general, just a small something that somebody can do when they moving from middle management to executive, what would that be?
Yeah. Wonderful question. This question comes up all the time. I think the most important thing you can do is analyze how you're spending the time. And what I like to encourage my clients who are moving into that director role is your job is not to stay in the fire tower, to look out across the land and look for signs of smoke and trouble building up so you know when to go down and get your hands dirty and help. But if you're always on the ground running around and your hands are in helping everyone with everything, you're going to miss your main role, which is to keep a view across the vast land that you're responsible for knowing what's happening. So audit your time and make sure you're spending that step back time to have a broader lens.
Wise words from a phenomenal coach. Stacy, thank you so much for taking the time to come onto the show today. And thank you to the viewers at home and at work for taking the time to watch this show. If you guys are interested in more businesses like the one I just featured here from Stacy, please log on to the Daily News Network. Until next time, thank you very much.